Well, hello folks, this is John here with Ozarks Back Roads. We're in the garage today and I'm running through my list of things to do to these motorcycles to get ready for the season. And one of the things I have on my list is to do a throttle body sync on this FJR. So I thought I'd make a little video. There might be some folks out there that haven't done a throttle body sync or don't exactly know what's involved. So we're going to do that today. And it doesn't necessarily just apply to an FJR. Any engine with multiple throttle bodies, you're going to have to keep the throttle body synchronized, same as carburetors back in the day on bikes. So it's not just for the FJR, it applies to about anything with an inline type engine on a motorcycle. I'm not going to go through removing the fairings and accessing the engine and all. It's going to be bike specific on that. You can look it up in your manual, and most people probably know how to get into their engine if they've had their bike very long at all. So I'll get the fairings off and get the tank raised up where I can get to the top of the engine, then we'll start with the throttle body sync. One of the tools you need to do this is a sync set, or a set of manometers. This is a set I got from Motion, Carb Tune Pro, which I believe I got those from, they came out of England. And I got them off Amazon. They're not available anymore. I couldn't find them on there, but I did see that Motion Pro makes a similar set that uses fluid. These use metal beads, but they work the same. So I've got four. I can do up to four throttle bodies at once. So I'll get reading for each one, and then we just plug in a hose to the throttle body, each 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we can look at the vacuum that each one's drawing, and then we just synchronize the vacuum on the throttle bodies. So what we're really doing there when we synchronize the throttle bodies is we're just getting the vacuum the same on all of them, so that they'll get the same amount of air and fuel. Every time a cylinder intakes, it'll get the same amount of air and fuel, so that the pressure in all the cylinders will be as equal as possible to each other. And what that'll do is it'll make your motor smooth. When you're going down the highway at 4,000 RPM, you won't get that buzz in the bars. A lot of times if you feel that buzz and it's bothering you, it's probably because your throttle bodies are out of sync. They need to be synchronized. But if you get them in sync good, that buzz goes away pretty much. I don't have on this FJR and on the that new Versus I've got, they're both just super smooth when they're synced up right. So I can usually tell when it's time to do a sync. I'll start getting a buzz in the bars. Usually 5,000 or 6,000 miles I have to do a sync. So that's what we're going to do today. I've got the motor opened up here, and if we look, we can see there's a rubber cap on each throttle body that needs to be removed, and there's one there on the first one, and that's where our hoses go, and they've got a little rubber cap on them to plug them off when we're not doing a sync. So there's one right there, right in the center. You can see it here on the cylinders 3 and 4 on the right side here. Here's two of the caps right here. So we're going to hook a hose left to right across the engine and across the gauge, and we're going to hook a hose on each one of them so we can look at the vacuum on each of the 4 throttle bodies. Okay, I've got my 4 lines on. Cylinder 1 is here, 2, cylinder 3, and cylinder 4, which is the farthest rightmost cylinder is 4, and the leftmost cylinder is 1 over here. So we got to let the motor warm up, and you can kind of look at the vacuum here on the cylinders, and I can see that I'm not in terrible shape at all. On any engine, there'll be a master. One of the throttle bodies will be the master, and you don't adjust the master, you leave it alone. And you'll sync the other three to the master. On this engine, number one is the master. So we're not going to adjust the vacuum on number one cylinder. We're just going to adjust the vacuum on 2, 3, and 4 and get it to match the vacuum on number one. That's the object here. Motor is warmed up and we're ready to have a go at adjusting these a little bit. And there's an adjustment screw on each throttle body. Has an adjustment screw, and you can see one of them here on number 4. We're over here on the right side of the engine now, and right here is the screw in the throttle body right here. If we can get tuned in on it. So each one has a screw, and you just go down through here, and we're not going to adjust number one. That's our master. So we're going to tune the 2, 3, and 4 to match what number one's doing. I can see that cylinder number 4 on the rightmost gauge there is lower than 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 are pretty well together. 4's dropped off a little bit, so I'm going to try to get in here and bring number 4 up. Alright, let's see if we can turn this up just a little bit. There it comes. That doesn't look too bad there. It's a little higher. I think I'm going to turn number 4 up just a smidge. It kind of drops a bit when the RPM are up. That's not too bad right there. Those guys look pretty happy. I think number 4 just needs just a little bit. I'm going to give number 4 just a little more. I don't know if I can improve on that. I think three needs a bump too. It's looking a little lazy. I'm going to try to get in here. Probably can't see where I'm at, but I'm on the screw. Let's see if 3 will come up just a smudge. So that's basically how we do a throttle body sync, and it's pretty much the same for any motorcycle engine. Anything with multiple throttle bodies, why, it's going to be the same process. Now, number 1 on this bike is the master, but it may not be the same on another engine. You'll just have to read your manual, and by looking you can tell the adjustment screws that you adjust the vacuum that I was just adjusting there. One of them will have paint on it, and if you look here, this is my number 1, and it's got white paint on it there. There it is. And that's the screw right in the center underneath the connector, fuel connector, or the fuel line. And you'll see that white paint in it, and that indicates that that's the master. The other 3 aren't painted, they're just silver screws. So you can look on yours and find the one that's painted. I have seen them number 2 cylinder, number 3 cylinder, or number 4 even be the master. Just depends on the manufacturer and how they set it up. All right, folks, well, that's it. We're going to button this puppy back up, and well, I got to change the air filter and put a set of plugs in it, but that's pretty boring stuff. I don't think I need to do a video on that. That's the major thing right there. I hope you learned something. Come back and see me again.